I'm here to talk about sustainability in fashion, but I'm going to skip the jargon that you can Google. I think everybody knows what kind of waste the fashion industry is creating today in terms of dyeing and landfills filling up and all of that. And the industry is taking steps, although not very firm steps, I must accept, but taking steps towards becoming a more sustainable industry. What I want to talk to all of you about today is how to create value in product itself. As a fashion designer, to create heritage garments, to create garments that you emotionally connect with, to create design in innovation and innovative, versatile development and usage techniques to make people value their clothes, value what they buy so much more by the magic of storytelling and the magic of design. And I think this is exactly the right crowd for us to be able to do that. So the changing perception of sustainability in fashion through 4 different examples that I have faced in my life until now, which is my first collection at London Fashion Week, which I'm basing on the design inspiration part. Agility in design is what we did as an organization during COVID. Product innovation is when we were driven to innovate in product to add more value to human life and to all aspects of human life. And of course, design application and collaboration was a beautiful international collaboration that came through because of our work ethos and our design style for the brand. That's a little bit about us. So yes, it's been 20 years, and about 6-7 years ago, the first time that I was invited to showcase at London Fashion Week, I suddenly was facing the first creative block of my life, and I thought it was worth speaking about here. So I knew I had to present a collection within a month and represent the country at such an important platform, and I felt like everything was copied, all color schemes were used, everything that was inspired by felt like it was copied again, and no design concepts felt like they were new. And then I decided that if I was to get over this block, I wanted to do something which was completely unlearned to the point where I'm not a human being, not an artist, not a designer, and relearn the craft and rediscover it all over again. What makes us jaded, what gives us these creative blocks is probably also seeing too much. And therefore, this collection, which is till date very special in my heart, is when I went back to the basics of design, of color, of art, of texture, where I said that what are the 2 basic colors that all of us start from, are born with? Is the darkness of our mother's wombs and the blank white canvas of an artist before we even start ideating. Those 2 made up for the colors of the collection. Then I came to shape. As we are born, the world starts imprinting upon us. The moment a baby opens its eyes, it's already seeing form, color, shape for everything that this world already is. And I said, what if somebody didn't see this? What if the world wasn't imprinting upon you? Would you do things differently? And everything, the tables, the chairs, the cars, the tripods, everything that you see around you is a permutation, combination, and a conglomeration of course, the different 4-5 basic shapes. Therefore, all the garments of the collection came by using one shape. So if you see the first garment, it came only by putting together in pattern making only different shapes and triangles, whereas the second garment was only shapes of rectangles. So just a multiplication of shapes made the garments. For texture, I went back to the straight lines, parallel lines, scribbling, stippling, everything that we do as an artist, so that those textures could be incorporated in a really, really fresh way into the garments. And of course, then coming to the art. I said, what kind of art is not copied at all? What kind of art is not inspired? Art that comes truly from emotion. And this is where I decided to work with the children from the blind school, the Pune Blind School, in fact, and said that what if I textured each one of these paints with different grains, different textures, crushed leaves, and had the children paint only from emotion because they didn't know anything any better. And therefore they created actually these beautiful canvases from textured paints where their excitement was palpable. It came from so much joy because every single painting, and that's, in fact, I would like to share with this room that's where I also learned that great design needs to know where to stop. Because they couldn't see their canvases, they started turning their canvases into muck, like basically brown. And then I had to pull off the canvas at the right point when it was ready and say, this is looking beautiful right now, it's enough. So that's where the digital prints for the collection came from and served as interlinings within the collection. So I think it was a memorable showcase. It was lovely. It's still very special to my heart because I could unlearn completely and relearn again, like you've said in your talk, that everything is about unlearning first and then relearning. Going to my next experience is during COVID and how we, as a company, as me as a person, as a designer, who's always wanted to bring art, fashion, technology, and science together to add value to human life through my designs. Everybody during the pandemic, every designer started creating masks to help communities from their fabrics, leftover fabrics, stock, from whatever they could find. And of course, a lot of friends and family told me that why don't you start making masks simply to survive? The very thought of creating a mask that I would give to my friends and my family, my parents, which was not safe enough and which would not filter the virus, was just unthinkable in my head. So I went into this research with medical communities, with doctors, with the NCL laboratory in Pune, and figured out how to fuse these masks, get imported fusings, get environmentally friendly fabrics organized to create employment. We contributed to ailing communities. Of course, we helped the brand survive and support our craftsmen. And of course, in fact, throughout the 2 years, I felt that this whole exercise kept the brand so relevant because people were wearing our masks every single day. And this I didn't realize until we were almost a year into the pandemic that by creating this product, we had also added so much more value to the brand itself. I learned how to sell, and it was not a profit-based activity, so we were still selling these 3D patterned and beautifully done masks which were rash-free, etc., at just a 395, 400 and 495 rupee price points where we would ship all over the country. So it helped me develop a whole new national business on e-commerce, which otherwise I'm into the business of couture and luxury clothing. This was completely new for us. And of course, we created an aspirational value by involving the medical community, doctors, celebrities, friends, and family. So these were some of the features of the protective face masks, which were certified at a 98.3% COVID virus COVID virus protection by 3 labs in the country and 1 lab internationally. So moving to my next, where product innovation in design becomes so, so important is, again, when the Parkinson's Society of India came to me to say that we want you to be involved in creating value for the Parkinson's patients in life. This is a short film about the experience. At the House of Nivedita Saboo, we've always strived to use fashion as a platform for art and science to come together and create meaningful solutions to empower everyday lives. Specialty fabrics with the comfort of stretch, differently designed closures, trims and accessories, pattern, cut and style that amalgamates the study of more than 18,000 global wardrobes into the evolution of these technical designs for Parkinson's patients. For Parkinson's patients, a huge effort is required due to the tremors and the sheer fatigue while trying to dress themselves up in regular clothing. It's crucial for us as the fashion industry to think inclusive and adaptive.
Dressing was one of the ordeals that we used to have at home, and it used to take us more than usual time for dressing up. But when I came here and I saw the way in which they cut down on all the dressing time, I was so excited and so pleased to see that. Especially putting buttons used to be a big problem. Putting up my pants, taking off my pants used to be quite a problem. But now with the things that they've introduced in this, the buttons, the ability to put the pant on without any trouble, so much difference there. I think I must have, in half the time I normally take, I was able to put my clothes on. I believe she's a visionary, and it's good to meet with her and be influenced with her, whatever she did with us. It's made a real difference in my life, just looking at the way she works. So, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
It takes around 15 to 20 minutes for me to put on the clothes at home, but here it was just about not more than 5 minutes.
I believe that this may turn out to be a Parkinson shop of its kind, first in India perhaps.
हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, उसके लिए थैंक्स.
Thank you so much. This film makes me a little emotional because some of those patients are no more, and I think it still gives me goosebumps to think that we got the chance to work with them. So I think it was a fantastic experience to be able to add value to their lives. These patients don't feel like stepping out because they take so long to get dressed. They have to trouble their caretakers to dress them up. They're fatigued by the time they dress up. And I think just reducing their dressing time to 1/3 of what they would usually need, in spite of it not looking like hospital clothing or patient clothing, the only thing that they craved, designed to give them, is to look normal, to look amazing, to look classy, to look really smart when they step out, and to not look like a Parkinson's affected person. So we had pockets for their medication. We didn't use magnetic buttons where patients had pacemakers installed. We had pull-up starries, t-shirt blouses, self-hold-up pants for when the men wanted to go to the washrooms and they couldn't hold their pants up. So it was all in all just a beautiful experience of how much value design can add to everyday life. This is the international collaboration with Warner Brothers that happened 2 years ago. And I felt really honored that Warner Brothers chose us to be their designer for India. And the first iconic superhero that I got to work with was Wonder Woman, because she was added to the Hall of Fame. She completed 80 years last year. And of course, the whole point was, exactly what the automobile panel discussion said, that to make everything regional, to make everything more relevant. Why are we aping the West? The whole point was to imbibe Wonder Woman, her ethos, her style, her powerful demeanor, her faith in true justice and equality into Indian design sensibilities, into clothes that we wear to celebrate Indian events, Indian weddings, whether it was couture collections or whether it was casual collections, whether it was a cape that could be worn in the Indian sense, or whether it was the cuts in the garment, the accessories, the belts that gave the Indian consumer an insight into Wonder Woman's ethos where they could start relating to it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And of course, what are we doing to be relevant each and every day of our lives and even for the future is everything that is app-based and e-commerce and of course online and experiential and interactive, creating a responsible and fashionable future. And apart from all of this, we create luxury clothing and everyday wardrobes for the movers and shakers and policymakers and everybody who's otherwise in this room. Thank you so much.